Hi everyone. In this video, we are going to see previous year question of Ugcnet in the chapter of communication about the communication noise. Let's see the question. This is the question. One side they are giving communication noise, the another side the meaning means description. The description. So, communication noise are semantic, physical, psychological, physiological, and the descriptions are exists outside of receiver, communicators prejudice and biases towards another person, the biological influence on the communication process, linguistic influence on the message reception. So, let's pause the video for some time and try to match. So this is the answer. Before explain the question, I'm going to explain the types of communication noise. First is semantic noise. Communication affects because of meaning of the words, phrases. That is the semantic noise. You guys, for example, there are words which give same meaning but different. There are some words when you pronounce they sound same but their meaning is different. So when you speak to others, the receiver may misunderstood because of words that you are used. So that is the semantic noise. That is means language barrier. Second is physical noise. Physical noise means the external or environmental barrier in communication. When you video calling with other person, noises come from TV and lighting in the room. So this all affects the that video call. So this is the physical noise of your communication. Psychological noise. Psychological noise means one person mental state and his perception and the biases affect the communication. That's not necessary everyone have same perception. So if you have one perception, the another person have another perception of the same thing. If you tell to others of some about something in your perception, maybe they understand that message with their perception. So psychological factors affect the communications. Fourth is physiological noise. Physiological noise means biological influence within a sender or receiver that affects the communication, which means if the sender have fever, headache, tired, so receiver has fever, headache, tired. Whatever I told, maybe because of their physical illness, maybe they don't understand what I am going to say, or they are not interested in listening. So, this is the physiological noise. Next is technical noise. Technical noise means communication hinders, affects the because of technology or when you are transmitting the message. For example, poor audio. So whatever when audio is so poor, whatever you told, they can't hear properly. So it affects the communication and internet connectivity issues. When meeting is going, suddenly internet connection is gone, then the communication is ended. Organization noise. So when you work, the environment and structure of organization affect the communication. So confusing communication channels. So the channel used by organization should be clear. So the organization should specify the communication they are using within the company between their employees, and also the hierarchy. They have clear hierarchy of the communication. In the top level person of the organization wants to still send a message to the lower level employee of the organization. How the hierarchy chain should be clear, so it properly transmitted. So the organization should ensure the clear hierarchy, clear chain of communication. The last one is cultural noise. Misunderstanding happens because of cultural norms, values, beliefs of different culture. For example, some gesture of one culture gives some other meaning in different culture. The belief of one culture may be that is not belief of another culture, so it is different from belief of another culture. So when the two culture collides, misunderstanding in the communication happen. So let's back to the question. So in this question, semantic noise means linguistic influence of message. Linguistic means language. So languages. So language influence on the message reception. That means first is 4. Second is physical. Exists outside of receiver. I told no environmental barrier. So exits outside of receiver. That is physical noise. Third one is psychological. Communicators prejudice and biases towards another person. That is their biases. So their perception towards another person is different. So third is second. Then fourth is physiological. So biological influence on the communication. On the communication process. Biological influence, if we are talking to one person, if the person has headache or tired or illness, they are not easily catch up with this. So this is a biological influence on the communication process.